What's up, everyone? My name is Josh Tolan, and I'm the CEO of SparkHire, the leading video interviewing platform used by thousands of organizations around the world. And this is the Recruiting Reel, a video series in which we discuss real recruiting challenges with prominent recruiting experts so you walk away with actionable tips you can apply to your own recruiting. Today's show features Elizabeth Becker. She is the client partner at PROTECH, an IT staffing firm. Elizabeth helps PROTECH's world-class clients find and hire top-tier candidates, and she also assists candidates in landing their dream jobs. Elizabeth comes to the show with a unique skill set, blending a marketing, social media, and writing background with multiple years of experience in the recruiting industry. We asked Elizabeth about some bad recruiting habits that you should stop right now, and this is what she had to say.
Hi Josh, thank you so much for having me. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Becker, and I am the client partner of the tech staffing firm PROTECH. You can find more about PROTECH at protechitjobs.com. So I'm here to talk a little bit more about some of the really bad habits that recruiters can have and how it affects the recruiting process and really the reputation of the industry in general. So for me, the number one mistake that recruiters can make is not being cognizant of a candidate's time. So to me, it's really important to respect a candidate's time, because if you want them to respect your time and to pick up the phone when you call them, it's definitely important for you to respect theirs as well. What does that mean? That means if you set an appointment for 2 o'clock to have an appointment with a candidate, that you call them at 2 o'clock and not call them at 2:10 or 2:15. Because that basically shows that your time is more valuable than the candidate's, and that definitely isn't the case. A candidate is taking time out of their schedule, usually from work or school or whatever it may be, to speak with you. So it's really important to be very respectful. The other part of that is being aware of where a candidate may be living, so what time zone they are in, so you're not calling them at 4 o'clock in the morning or midnight. It's really important to make sure that you're always being very aware of where a candidate is at and what you may be interrupting. The second thing I want to talk about is some traditional recruiting advice that I don't necessarily think is still best practice. That piece of advice is basically what I like to call the sprinkler method. So to me, the sprinkler method is trying to hit as many people, as many candidates as possible with the same quick generic message. What this shows a candidate is that you did not look at their resume, you're not really interested in speaking with them, you just wanted to get your message out to as many people as possible. This isn't going to get you a very high response rate, and the responses you get aren't going to be top quality candidates. What I really recommend to both new and seasoned recruiters is to really add some personalization into your messages. So take a little bit of time to carefully groom through the candidates you want to reach out to, make a short list, and send personalized individual messages to each of those candidates. What you're going to get back is much better responses, and you're also going to be building up your candidate network for better referral sources in the future. So it's really important not to just do the water sprinkler method and get a million responses. It's better to take your time and reach out to the candidates that you really want to speak to. It will really save you a lot of time in the long run. That's really all I have today. Thank you again for having me.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for pointing out those bad habits, which unfortunately are pretty easy to develop. I think the sprinkler method is something that many new recruiters struggle with. They blitz their activities, they send the same exact message to every and any candidate, and initially see some results, but eventually you're left with diminishing returns and a bunch of annoyed candidates. Much of this can be tied back to a recruiter's eagerness to achieve some quick wins, but I think it's also related to another bad habit that I like to point out, which is when recruiters just don't take the time to learn about the profession of the individuals they're trying to recruit. Trust me, there's nothing worse for a candidate than speaking with a recruiter that's trying to speak their language, but really has no clue what they're talking about. So the moral of the story?
Slow things down.
Put together a playbook of how you're going to approach and follow up with candidates, and this will make sure that you have something meaningful in place, you'll be able to measure the results, and make adjustments so you don't reach that moment of diminishing returns. Thank you so much to Elizabeth Becker for coming on the show today. Head over to protechitjobs.com to learn more about PROTECH and the services that Elizabeth and her team provide. Also follow her on Twitter at Lizzie the Writer and connect with her on LinkedIn using the URL below. Thank you so much for watching the Recruiting Reel. For additional HR and recruiting related content, head over to hr.sparkhire.com and subscribe to our newsletter. Also follow us on Twitter at SparkHire and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be the first to know about the newest episodes of the Recruiting Reel. Thanks again for watching and happy recruiting.